I greatly appreciate your joining us to celebrate my father's 80th birthday. I know you come from a lot of different places, and but it's nice to have family here in one place, people I haven't seen in a long time. I'm going to put on a slideshow here, because when I was a kid,
is it going to be a short one?
when my father was in a mountaineering a lot, he would drag me to all kinds of like Boy Scout events and climbing events, and he put on these slideshows, and he would make me sit through these interminably long slideshows. So it is now my turn. It is now my turn to honor him with the same thing. So this is really a tribute and a light roast and an occasionally irreverent view of my father Jim's life. I think it's important, and my Bible says that you should honor your father and your mother, and I believe in that. But I also knew that when I grew up as a Farren, what you learn is that you give your father a hard time. I never really got that really well, but the older I got, I realized that was just part of being a Farren. So I'm going to give my father a little bit of a hard time, and that's my way to honor him. So sit back, relax. I apologize for how long this is going to be.
You're not sorry.
So Jacob said, "Is this going to be longer than your 2-hour speech you gave at your daughter's wedding?" And I don't know. I haven't timed it yet, but so give me a chance here. So my father is want to share his wisdom and his sayings. And one of my favorite sayings is that we are all a study of one. And what I think that means... It gets better.
That's an intelligent
It gets better.
guy, yeah.
So what I think this really means is that everybody's different, and there's a study of everybody, and everybody has a story that's interesting. So this is the study of Jim Farren's life. So first of all, let's talk about Farren History 101. Right? Now, James Michener, when he wrote his novels, would go back to the creation of the earth. I'm not going to go back that far, but I'm going to talk about how did Jim get here in the first place. So here's how he got here.
Yeah, plain.
We have, my grandfather, Farren, was always very proud of his Donegal Irish roots. And so the Farrens came from Donegal to Boston, to Butte, and they all claim. He didn't talk much about the Hicks side. Now, I did a lot of research, and I have discovered the Hicks came primarily from Switzerland and Germany, and probably England. Now, Grandpa never said that, he never talked about the Hicks coming from England, and with all due respect, Jeff, to the English, he referred to them as the Cousin Jacks, and I think that's why the Irish aren't particularly proud of the mixture with the English. So they were actually Mennonite Christians. They're like the Amish. And they emigrated to Lancaster, where there's a big Amish and Mennonite community, and then to North Dakota, and then to Butte. So what was it like growing up with the Farrens? I don't know if this is truly a meeting of the Elk Plain Irish American Mafia, but this is sort of what I remember growing up as a Farren. And I don't know why you would think that they're mafioso, but anyway, this is what I grew up with. These were the Irish. So where did this all start? It started October 7th, 1935 in Butte, Montana. Now, oops, let me go back here. So Butte, very bucolic, peaceful place to grow up. And so I did some research, and I dug, and I found the newspaper from the date of your birth, from October 7th, 1935. And let's look at what happened in Butte in that very peaceful town. A prominent Butte man is knifed to death. I tend to think this happened a fair amount in Butte, but anyway, it was a hard scrabble existence, and your father made the best of it. Your grandfather, my great-grandfather, worked in the copper mines, and unfortunately a lot of the miners didn't live past 44, which is how long he lived. And I think they decided, well, we should probably move. Move up. So what town did they select? Spanaway Alternative. All right, so now young Jim, or Jimmy, as he is known, Jimmy as he is known, had a very happy life growing up. With his dad at a waterfall, enjoying family times, with his brothers. your dad's there.
Cousin Bud.
Yeah. But he wasn't always happy. I'm not sure what was wrong there, but so this is, hold on. This is Mike, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. Dave is not. Dave's
Yeah.
probably just a
Yeah.
sparkle in somebody's eye at this point. All right. Then we go to the next one word, Bethel. Now I can joke about this because I'm from Bethel, and I can count too. So I found the Bethel yearbook from 1954. This was hard to get. All right. We're going to learn something about Jim that maybe you didn't know about, because I certainly didn't know about this. There he is. He did graduate from high school. I know that now. I love the James Dean Pompadour. I think you really rocked their hairdo when you were in high school. Now, every class in high school does a will, and Jim left his. Jim Farren, will my bashful ways to Phil Caldwell. Was Phil? I don't know if Phil was he like too loud and obnoxious? Send a message to him, or what? We'll have to ask that later. There's more information. So, what I found about my father is that he was very active in the FFA. That's the Future Farmers of America. In 1952, he organized it, and there he is there, Jim. And I think he was the vice president. In 1953, he was the vice president. There he is there, the vice president.
Jim and there, Jim.
There's his brother Mike. And in 1954, he was still vice president. So, letting his younger brother take the... But of course, with every future farmer, there is always a present farmer. It comes in handy. That's the thing about it. All right. So now this is you may not know some of this. I didn't know this. Jim Farren was the freshman class president. Wow. He was the sophomore class president. Jim was in the drama club, which explains a lot. The senior ball co-chairman, the junior prom attendant, and various committees too numerous to list.
That's all a lot.
Not surprising for those of us who know how social, what a social butterfly my father is. But yes, he was in the drama club, if you can imagine that. And there he is. Did you end up in any place? I tried to blow the picture up, but I couldn't. To see if there was some kind of, I thought there was a sideburn going on there, but I'm not sure. So then, at the end, there's always a senior class prophecy in every senior class, and so 10 years hence, they asked Jim, and he says, as you're about to leave, we see Gordon Dahlberg, Jim Farren, and Fred Reed all in uniform. They tell us they're making a career in the Army, and certainly that's what he did. We're in the Army now. And there he is. At first I thought this was like McHale's Navy, but I don't know what a Fort Lewis life preserver on a ship is how they advertise Fort Lewis, but that's what they did. Now, you notice that Jim was probably one of the best PFCs they had. There is not a single bend in the crease there, standing smartly, but he would relax on occasion. And he would shoot guns. And then they sent him to Alaska. What's that?
That was mortar.
A mortar, okay. Shoot stuff. They sent him to Alaska, I think perhaps to defend America from the Canadians. I'm not really entirely sure what the big expedition in Alaska was. But when I was a kid, I always thought that, one of my father's greatest accomplishments was that he got a certification that PhD James Farren took a crap in Alaska at 62 degrees below zero. And this is actually signed by General I.C. Bond. Yeah. You know what happens at that temperature? Do what's alleged there. Now, in 1956, Jim became the happiest guy in Spano. You know why? Because he got married. My mother. Well, okay, maybe that's the happiest guy in the world. Now, that happened later. I did verify it. And so he was also known as one of the best house cleaners. And I know he taught me how to garden early by having me suck on garden rakes and instruments like that. Sometimes, though, Jim was too much of a good time. His work life. So I don't have a lot of pictures of his work life, but I do. We'll just run through this. I know he worked at Brown and Haley when he was in high school. He actually hitchhiked down there. And he told me at one time he was sick of chocolate because he's a stir of vats of chocolate and probably, enjoyed the chocolate too much. He worked in the Forest Service. I think he hitchhiked to that job too in the summer. Is that right? He was a surveyor. I had pictures of a surveyor. I worked for the Washington State Department of Transportation for 25 years, and then Kitsap County, and then for Ace Paving, building bridges and roads and those things that we drive on. But my dad's active life was important, and it's something that I was admired. He was a runner. Now the funny thing is, when I found his picture, I thought this was Tom. Oh, don't say that? Okay.
Yeah, please. I got to live with him.
He was active in the Mountaineers, chairman of the Intermediate Climbing Committee. He held off rocky things. He stood on glaciers and posed. He looked at mountains, and then he climbed them. This was, I think, is this Mount McKinley? Denali, is this now called?
That?
Yeah.
That's on top of Liberty Cap on right there.
I'm okay. That's okay. That's Denali, right? That's McKinley?
That's on Denali.
That's Denali, all right. Now, I think this really exposed, they changed the name. This exposed facets of my father that were interesting. So, the very contemplative, stylish, reclining, but again, very, very stylishly dressed mountaineer, and a little more rugged guy. A little more road hard there. But I was very proud because I think there were times when my father did things like participated in search and rescue and helped others. I found this excerpt from his climbing diary from his 20s. I didn't know that my dad was an artist, and that's actually the only example of artwork I've ever found. But what I thought was even more interesting was his entry in his climbing trip journal. The rest of the descent was easy, and we arrived back at the cars at 4 p.m. The most amazing thing about the trip was that I started with 24 climbers and returned with 24 climbers. Were there times that you didn't? He also enjoyed skiing too. I think he learned to ski in Alaska, if I'm not mistaken. And then he progressed and became a pretty talented skier in America, in Washington State. And when I looked at that picture, I thought, that reminds me of somebody, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it until I realized it's Stein Erikson. That's exactly what the difference is, you could actually put the edge of a dime between his skis. You could not put it between his skis. He enjoyed boating too, which always amazed me because you didn't know how to swim. Growing up in Butte, Montana, you loved your boating. This is a slight diversion. My dad has read almost every Steinbeck novel and Hemingway novel. I just threw that in because I'm a big fan of literature too. He is an environmental activist. You know, the pond behind his house was once threatened because they were talking about draining it. And my dad took steps in the middle of the night, I think with John's help. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to name the suspects. To illegally install metal plates in the pond to back it up so that it could never be drained again. But they were going to drain it because the county was trying to manage salmon flow and thought that by draining the pond they would resurrect the salmon flow. And the TNT, Tacoma News Tribune article in 2006 says, Jim Farren owns one of the 4 houses in the west shore of the pond. He said the bypass, which was the effort to drain the pond, might take away the majority of the creek water, making the pond stagnant and unsuitable for many creatures. We'd like to keep the pond as it is. And my appreciation to you, Dad, for saving the turtles and the ecosystem. What I just don't know is whether they know about all the oil that's drained in the backyard. The underground storage tank that's been plugged up.
It was okay then.
And the solvents, and I won't go on. And then there's the family. So this is my father during one of my smarter decisions with my daughter, helping my son do what he was trying to do often, which is dispose of his twin sisters. A recent wonderful family gathering, my daughter's wedding, the cat whisperer. I missed the soft side of him growing up. I'm thoroughly enjoying it now. And of course, he's a Seahawks fan now. The Seahawks are popular. This bugs the heck out of him because he's always complaining about the fact that Seahawks are fair weather fans, and that where were they when they were losing every single game, and he was a fan then. So now, I come to the end, and I was thinking of a saying that applied to my father, and I came across a Ralph Waldo Emerson quote: "The purpose of life is not to be happy, it is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well." And Dad, I think that applies to you. Where's Ralph? Dad, Ralph also said something else, and that was, for every minute you're angry, you lose 60 seconds of happiness. Just FYI. So there we are. I thank you all for listening to me. Now that you've listened to me, what I would like is for anybody who has anything to say about my father, and it can be irreverent, it can be serious and honorable, it can be a tribute, anything you want to say. And so I'm actually going to start with Eric.
Thanks.
So I'm going to give Eric an opportunity to say whatever he wants.